Hi everybody. Good day. Today is Tuesday, I think, and welcome to Colorful Threads. Welcome to Colorful Threads. I am Juliet, and we are going to be talking about small lettering and making some small lettering look more legible, and what it takes to actually do all of that. So if you are interested, stick around and hang out. We're going to work on it all together. You know, I don't do any video editing or clipping of my stuff, so we're going to do it together. Now, on the thumbnail, I had my inspiration. So recently went on a little vacation, and you know, anytime I go on vacation, it's really a working vacation because I'm looking in the shops, I'm looking at the embroidery at the places that I go to, and my favorite thing to get whenever I go on a trip as a souvenir is patches, you know, because that's what we do, right? So I'm always interested in a patch. So when we went to Grand Cayman Island, it was the first time I had been there, so I had to get a patch for the island, and I really like getting the ones that have the, you know, the flag, or, you know, something that's actually geared more towards, you know, the island, as opposed to like, you know, hey, welcome. So I got the flag, and then I looked the flag up online to see what the words on it said. It's a little bit of scribbles. So I wanted to know what the flag actually said, so I had to look it up and see what it said. And these words are supposed to say, where is it? He hath founded it upon the sea. That's a lot of words to put in this tiny area. Can't even. There we go. Got to change my, I got to cover the whole screen to get it to focus. Yeah. So this is supposed to say, he hath founded it upon the sea, but it's really just some squiggly lines. So it got me thinking about small lettering, and had I done a video about small lettering. And so here we are. We're going to be talking about small lettering. Who is with us this morning? Put the stand over there. Well, can you pull up chat on my phone so I can put it on the stand, please? Thank you, sir. I have the most fabulous assistant ever. If you haven't met him, my wonderful husband. So first thing that we got to talk about when we're talking about small lettering is, you know, it's my favorite thing, my new favorite thing, my needle. So my 3D printer guy made this one for me so that I can use it during my tutorials. It doesn't fall apart. It is actually, hi, Miss Lydia. Yes, we are planning a trip to come down to your area. So I will be able to come and see you soon. So, needles. First thing that you have to think about when you're talking about working with some small lettering is your needle. What needle do you need, right? So it's all about this groove, remember? All about this groove and what's going on in this groove. And your thread that's going to go in there. And we're talking about the diameter of the needle itself. So if, for example, your standard 7511 needle, this blade of your needle here is the part that is 0.75 millimeters thick. So that's not very thick. And if you're trying to do small lettering with this big fat needle, you're just going to be poking a lot of holes in the same spot because your stitches are going to be much smaller on your small lettering, right? We're talking about tiny. The tinier you get, everything that you work with needs to change size. So we're going to work with our needle first. and that's gonna be determined by what thread you're using. So what thread are you using? Oh, by the way, new needles. I just got, when he sent me this one that's all glued together and mounted so it won't fall apart, he also sent me 2 new colors for the website. There's going to be green, and I have black for the website now. I got 3 more inventory. So if you are interested in having your very own super large, amazing needle like mine, because it is pretty cool. I keep it sitting, you know, on my desk. It's kind of cool to have a giant needle around. I will have a link to that below. It's going to be either green or black right now. The orange is out. And let me see what's in the box. It's a green one as well. And you will get a box. It's not going to be painted silver like this, but it's going to have colorful threads and my website link engraved on the front of it. Nice wooden box to store it in. So that link is shared. Did you just share it? Okay. Thank you. Perfect. Okay. So needles, if you're interested in awesome needle, I have those. Okay. What thread are you using? Determines the size of the needle, right? We've talked about this a little bit before. I had made a really long video in the past, and I thought I was going to edit it down where I talked about needles and what size of needles you need for different threads. So, for example, I have in my hand a piece of Vermilana thread, which is the thickest thread that you can sew with, and that's going to use the thickest needle that you can use, which is the 100 needle. Look at how thick this thread is. It's really, really thick. Okay, and this is a 12 weight thread because we're talking about the weights of the thread now, right? And I just wanted to show an example. If you're using Madeira thread, they're going to tell you what size of needle you're going to be successful with using the different threads. It'll say it right on the front of the package, like this one. FS metallic. Oh, it's on the other side. Okay. So it tells you what size needle you need to use. And on the little information card. So everything's going to have a needle size. Once you get into the smaller threads, and let me get away from this one. So I have a few different brands of 60 weight thread. So your standard everyday thread that you're using is 40 weight, right? Typical what's up on here on the machine is your 40 weight thread. And it's like writing with a fine tip Sharpie all day. And when you need a smaller detail in a smaller area when you're writing, because we're writing with thread, you're going to go for a smaller thread. Now these particular ones that I have here, this is a Madeira one. This is the 60 weight. It says it right on the side. It says 60 weight. This one is a Hemingworth. I thought it was cool because it had this like plastic container that keeps the thread clean and together. That's the only reason I got it. It was fancy and cute. And then I do have a spool of, the dog wants to come in. We gotta let the dog in. Such is the life of living in a small space. So I do have this other superior thread that I haven't taken out of this color out of the package yet. So it's really not about the brand. It's really about the weight of the thread. I personally am liking the Madeira. You know, you're going to hear me say it, Madeira, because it's a good quality thread. So there is a 60 weight. And this one is currently a blue spool. And then there is even thinner thread. There's the Angel Hair 75 weight thread. And this particular cone is yellow. They will say on them what they are. And usually what you'll see people switch to whenever they're wanting to do smaller, the dog is in. Smaller lettering is the 60 weight. but there is 75 weight thread, and we're going to stitch with both of these. So I've got to get all this on the machine as well. But I wanted to bring your attention to your chart, your poly neon chart from Madeira. When you have this, go pick this up and look at this, because what you have going on the back is all of your information. There's 4 different types of threads that are listed in the chart. This is what's going to tell you what colors are available in the size of thread you're looking for. Because it is a specialty thread, this thinner thread, there's not as many colors available. And Madeira has everything on their chart color coded. So your 40 weight is the top one at the top where it says poly neon 40, and then the blue poly neon 60, and then yellow is 75. So what are these colors? The colors on the chart refer to the dots. So it's probably going to be hard to show you, but there's dots right next to each color. So if there's a blue dot, then that's what's going to be available in the 60 weight thread. If there's a yellow dot, that's what's going to be available in the 75 weight thread. So you've got to look at what thread colors are available for the weight that you're looking for. Let's see. So for example, right, your poly neon, there's 433 colors on here. Your 40 weight. Your 60 weight, there's only 150 colors available in 60 weight. And then your 75 weight, there's only 90 colors in the 75 weight thread. So that's what I mean by you got to pay attention to, if you're doing a special color, can you get that specific blue, green, red, whatever for the client, right? So you got to pay attention to that whenever you're ordering. Is it even available? And all of them are available, but you'll know by the colored dots on the chart if it's a color you can use. Usually it's going to be black or white. But it is fun to have pretties. Okay. So let's see. Hello everyone. I'm here. Let's learn something new. Yes, let's learn something new. Awesome. Okay, so put my chat over here. All right. Let me see. I gotta get my machine threaded. I did not get that far this morning just to get the threads on there. So let me stand up and let's get this machine threaded. Let's see. We can take off the brown. Nobody really wants brown. And I'm just looking underneath the machine. Don't have any cups, so I'm not going to be using cups for the thread. Oh man, it's just so dead. Let's see if I can show you a comparison. It's going to be hard. It is going to be hard. Let me find a darker color. Oh yeah, here we go. Wedding invitations, that works. Can you see the difference? Anyways, there you go. All right. So, where are you from? I always like seeing where people are from. Take this yellow off. This is the glue, which is 60 weight. Glue cone. Glue cone. Yay. Okay. And a real quick second. Let's see. Hi, Karen. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you're here. I am working with this super fine thread. It's crazy because the 75 weight is like half of the 40 weight. So I had a service call one time where I went to go work on a machine because she said something is wrong with the machine. It's not sewing like the others. And I was like, oh, okay, well, there's definitely a problem. So I showed up to Miss Nancy's machine and she had 4. That's why she's like, it's not sewing like the others. And she showed me the embroidery. This is what's coming off the machine. What's going on? How can we fix this? It's only doing it on the black. And I went, it's only doing it on the black? Her spool of thread that she had put on the machine was a 60 weight spool. And she did not even realize it and was trying to sew a 40 weight design with the 60 weight. And she was seeing the colors behind because the thread was thinner. That was an easy service call. We just changed the spool of thread and sewed. Okay. So the blue is the 60, the yellow is the 75. So I gotta change this. So for the 75 weight thread, I'm gonna need a smaller needle, and I only have one 60 needle. Somewhere with my machine, I got a 65 needle, and the 65 needle is what I'm gonna need for the, here it is, 65 needle bobbins. Bobbins are going to be the same. Typical bobbins are about 60 weight thread. Okay, now then, needle, we are on number 13. Take that needle out. That is the 75. That needs the 60 needle. I have one 60 needle. Karen, sorry I came in late. Did you cover the proper needles? Yes. And I'm kind of sort of doing it now too, because I'm putting it on the machine. So I got to make sure the right needle's on the right one. So I'm on, like right now I'm on number 13, and 13 on my machine is where I have the 75 weight thread. So my needle on number 13 needs to be the 60 needle. My magnet and my decal. So I also have a magnet and a decal kit so that you can make sure you get your needles installed correctly. Even I've been doing this 25 years and I still make sure I get my needles in correctly because every stitch counts. The kit is the decal, which gives you the 5 degrees orientation, and it comes with a magnet if you'd like. I'll make sure to post a link to that as well. I know, isn't this cool? Love my big needle. Okay, now then, back to putting in needles, correct needles. Now I've got to go to number 10, which is the 65, which needs a 65 needle. So when you're ordering the spool of thread that you need, you're going to have to remember to buy the needles that you need. And very important is, if you're getting this digitized by a company, you need to tell them that you want the 60 weight thread for the lettering in this section of the design or whatever it is. Because your digitizing has to match the thread size as well. I got my longer, these needles are so tiny. Okay, needle is installed and correctly. Put my decal back away. What is that needle? Oh, it's an 80. We don't need that. Okay. Get my needles threaded. Oh, geez. All right, I gotta take my glasses off to see this. There we go. All right. Now, we also need to consider whenever we're sewing with this thinner thread that it's going to break a little bit easier. So we're not going to try to sew at 1400 stitches per minute because the thread's not going to be able to handle that kind of speed. So I'm probably going to run around 900. All right. Threads are in. Everything is threaded and ready to go. I did not prep the machine this morning, so I'm going to put a drop of oil real quick in the hook. Done. Get all these bad needles into the trash. Got everything all set up? You don't have to stay and hang out if you don't want to. You can. I am going to be switching to the computer. I got the machine is ready. Thank you. Okay. All right. Let's go to the computer now and kind of look at what I've got going on. Okay. So I have I've pulled up in your software. If you got Design Shop, I think it's 12. I'm not sure if it's in 11 or not, but there are some files in there that are for the smaller weight thread. So as you can see, I have small lettering 75 weight thread. I opened the small lettering 60 weight thread. I have these designs ready to go, and then I have my grand came and ready to go. So I tinkered with this design for about an hour, and what I discovered is that to get good lettering and not have the lettering at 1 millimeter, which is not going to happen, I put the lettering at 2 millimeter. Let's pull it up. We're at 2 millimeters for our lettering, and that's really as tiny as you want to get. But I did change the wording just a little bit so that it would fit within the space, so I can hide this graphic so you can see how I kind of have the lines, and right there it is, just so that I can make sure, yeah, I measured everything, it's all the right size. So I did take out a couple of lettering. Now it says he found it upon sea. So I took out just, the little words and kept the words that had the meaning, which gave me the right size to be able to stitch good letters on this tiny little flag. Okay. So if you want to look at and sew out something with these threads that is going to sew well, it's going to be the Melco International stuff. So I'm going to load that onto the machine and stitch that. So basically, when you're dealing with tiny, tiny lettering, I'll zoom in and show you this. It gets tiny because you're dealing with the width of the thread and the space that it will fit in there. And it's going to be good, but it's going to be better than what was there. At least we'll be able to read this. So let's stitch this stuff out. If you have any questions, though, drop them in the link below. Okay, so let's switch back over to the machine. I'll let you do the camera. Oh, I gotta put this on driving. Okay, some drive. Let me start over. There we go. Now it's loading. So I loaded pink. I got pink fabric. We're gonna see how the white looks on that. The black is gonna look really good because I only have white in the 75. Okay. No, whatever you loaded is not what I want. Here it is, Melco 60 weight. We'll do the 60 weight first, which is going to be the blue one, the blue cone, which I have is black. Look at how small. Okay. So I want to move this over here and stitch it over there. We're going to be stitching with color number 10. Color 10. It shows up yellow here, but it's going to be black. Got my speed. I'm going to leave my tension, my minimum active feed at the typical 4. We'll see if anything happens. Ready? Don't forget to tap on the hearts and give me some hearts. All right, so this lettering is for the 60 weight thread. Oops, and we had a little thread break. Okay, back up so I can get in here and work. Thank you. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. No fur balls. Okay. I'm going to loosen my tension just a little bit. The overall design height for this Melco International that I'm sewing now is 0.4 inches tall, the entirety of the lettering. Let me select just one word. So the word Melco is 0.2 tall inches and 0.6 wide, so just over half an inch wide. And it's sewing much better with a tension of 6 loose. Yeah, so this is 0.2 inches tall, this lettering. Let me snip my thread here. So the word Melco is just over half an inch wide. So we're going to sew the same thing, but with the 75 weight thread. And in my white, so set my color to number 13. Check mark and load. I got to load the design for the 75 weight thread. And pull the design down below that one just a little bit. Check mark and start. No, 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 no. Trim. I need you on number 13. 10, 13. Aha, there we go. There it goes. All right. Back to 0 and start. Oh, you can barely see it. I need a darker piece of fabric. Drew, can you do me a favor while you can get past? Can you go grab me in the fabric storage room some piece of black cotton? When you walk in on the cotton wall, on the left-hand side, there's some scraps of cotton back there that are like red, green, black, yellow. Grab a piece of that for me, and I'll sew this on black. It's sewing and it looks very cute, but it's white on this pink. I'm going to throw the old needles away. Don't forget, if you're new, hi, Marianne. Marianne, hi, welcome. Okay, let's see. I don't know if you can see it, but it's here. And that's why I'm going to sew it on black. So this design, where's my ruler? Is, geez, guys, this is tiny. 22 millimeters, 22 millimeters wide. Find some black fabric. Oh yeah, perfect. All right. Let me get this piece of black hooped, and then we're going to sew this again. Okay, I got black fabric now. So let's get this black fabric on here. I'm going to sew the same thing. I'm not going to make any changes to anything whatsoever. We're just going to put our black on. And start. There we go. Now we'll be able to see this one. And there's not a lot of stitches in this. There's only 1,200 stitches. I hope you can see this. Look at how small this is. Super tiny. I hope it's focusing. Wow, that's so legible and so good, right? You can see how small that is. It's so tiny. So now the lettering that I had created for the 75 weight thread that will replace the letters on my flag, that was called flag. Here it is. $278 stitches. Let's do transform. I want to put it about here. Yeah, perfect. That'll put it right next to that. Okay, check mark and start. Ooh, I know what I could do is I could take a picture. Okay, talk to Marianne. I'll have to wait. Yeah, the problem is I can't see half the chat because it's behind bubbles. All right. Wow. I don't know if you can read that or not if the camera is zooming. But I can read. He founded from C. So this lettering, if I pull out my little ruler, is just under 2 millimeters. It's right at 2 millimeters. Yep. He found it from C is legible. So let's go back to our software and talk about the software a little bit more. And let's kind of work with our lettering and get it set up to go. Because all this stuff was already kind of like pre-ready. See, Drew? All right. So here we're looking at the 75 weight thread, and you can see our stitch count is at 1275. And you can see how loose our density is. And I don't know what happened with my screen. The whole screen kind of went weird up here. Don't worry about that. Okay. So let's zoom in on this, and let's see what this density is. Go from here to here. 4-point density. Oh, that's actually not so bad. I would have thought it would have been. Oh, there's 3. There's 4. So I would say it's probably around 3.5. Looks like it's varying just a touch. 3, 2, 3. Yeah. Somewhere around 2 to 3. They have it. Oh, let's pick a column and see. Density is 3. With a pull offset of 2 points, which is, wow, almost double. You can see how wide that goes. So your density is less because the thread is thinner, but it's not going to be super, super tight. Let's pull up some lettering. Let me get a fresh project. Pull up some lettering, and we're going to do my name. And I'm going to start by picking fonts that were designed to be this size. In our software, they've actually made us some micro fonts. And each one of these has a size on it. Suggested minimum height, maximum height. It looks like I have it in millimeters. So it's 0.2, 0.3, and then centimeters is next to it if you're a centimeter person. So right off the bat, anything in this micro category is going to use thinner thread. Your 0.2s, your 0.3s, your 0.2s, all of this with this micro times 0.17. Let's use this one. It's the smallest I think that they will go. Mini micro 0.2, 0.17 micro times, mini saloon and Odesco. Yeah, so that's the smallest one, micro times. Micro times, apply, and then I'm going to put my lettering at that 0.2, apply. What did it say? Did it not like that? It said something. 0.2. $1.5. Will you give me 1.5? It'll give me 1.5. Okay. This is small, guys. Let me zoom in on it. Nope. I don't even think we're going to be able to see it. There it goes. Why did my screen have to, of course, go crazy when I need to get to settings? Here we go, tools. Let me make sure my measurement units are correct. Letter height is millimeters. Spacing is millimeters, that's fine. Does not look good at all. What's my density? Turn off this auto density. Top stitching, auto density, better. Let's do our, where's my phone? Make sure I'm paying attention to my chat. I am making all of my name uppercase letters because those are going to do better. And closest point connect. That's pretty tiny. You can see when I click on it, it actually shows it. What did it say? Our minimums was 0.17 inches. Let me change this. Tools, options, measurement, inches. Okay. 0.17. Apply. There we go. Now it's actually at a better. I was using inches for my millimeters, and it was really, really bad. Say again? 0.17. Yeah, 0.17 millimeters is not. That's not going to work at all. Okay. Now then, let's do our density. Now I can actually read it. Density. We're going to put that at 3. And underlays, we're going to do no underlays because we don't need any bulk underneath there. Okay. Where's my center? And I'm going to have to redo my whole screen. There's my name. Okay. Space them just a tiny bit. All right. Let me save this. Save as. Put my thumb drive in. And we're calling this one Juliet, and we're going to call this 65. Wait. 65? No, that isn't even right at all. It's not 65 weight. 75 weight thread. Ha, that's hilarious. Okay. Anyways, we're done. Now then, let's go back to the machine and sew this out. Eject. Because the whole thing is designed to be like easy to do, right? We should be able to do this quickly and easily. Load. Juliet. And I'm going to sew that right there. Okay. And I'm on number, what color? I'm on 13, which is, yep, the color I want. That's my 65 weight. And start. 300 stitches. So my name is not even an inch wide. And I don't even know what fraction that is of inches, but it is 3 metric. Metric, is that millimeters? Yeah. 30 millimeters. 10, 20, 21 millimeters by 3. Tiny. Legible, small lettering. So if I sew the same thing in 40 weight thread, you'll see a difference. Just gonna go right below it. Okay. And a thread. Oh, it's hung up here on the spool. I did not check that first. Okay. All right. Okay, so here's the difference, guys. The bottom one, this one is the one that messed up. The bottom one here is with the 75 weight thread, and this is with the 40 weight thread. And you can immediately tell a difference. The bottom one is much more legible. It's not as crowded up in there. So, you just have to have the right thread. So give it a try. So the same thing with both letterings. This thicker one up here with the 40 weight thread is with a 75 needle. Yes. And you will have to sew it a couple of times, you know, just like anything else to get the lettering of what you want to do in your application, right? Because are you sewing on fabric in this case? Are you sewing on top of other stitches? what kind of stitches do those need to be, what type of thread does that need to be, and make sure to talk to your digitizer if you're working with a digitizer and tell them what your intentions are. So our contractor is here apparently to do some work today, so we are getting our kitchen in the cabinet, kitchen, in the counter, in the camper, too many guys, rebuilt because the oven was kaput. So I am gonna log off for today, and if you found any kind of useful information in my small lettering rant today, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. And don't forget to hit the bell. And what I mean by hit the bell is, yeah, turn on notifications, but make sure you click all so you get notified anytime I post. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's completely and totally free. And check out some other videos that I have for things if you're interested. I'm coming at you from the point of view of somebody who is a technician and an instructor and 25 years of experience in the industry. So don't forget to share my videos if you find it useful to help other people as well. And I'm happy to make my next video about something that you need. So post below anything that you need a video for that you can't seem to find. And otherwise, I will see you guys next week. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. And I will see you next week. Till then, have fun and happy sewing. And I will post a picture of this in the community so you can see with the ruler better detail than on the video. So go check that out as well. All right. Now I got to log off and hit the done button.